I think that was his computer, but I've never used it.
Okay, folks, here we are. Welcome to another edition of our virtual craft beer tasting. I am your host, Gus Guevara. This is Virtual Taphouse. We are here at Sohop Brewing in Huntley, Illinois. We have Doug Van Walker and Katie Hoffman. Doug's the brewer, Katie's taproom manager, and we're going to go through a tasting of 4 beers with you. We'll start with Doug. Doug, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into brewing, and we'll go from there.
I started home brewing about 10 years ago, and I'd make so much beer I couldn't drink it all, so I just started bringing it in here and giving it to the guys I work with, and they liked it and said, "Hey, let's start a brewery." I was like, "Oh, all right, sure." So, yeah, I brewed maybe home brewer maybe 7 years before this started in small batches. The two we were going to start out with here at the brewery, and that's how it. That was about 3 years ago. So we've been open about a year and a half now. So
Awesome. Awesome. Katie, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know I've run into you before in the circuit.
Yeah. So I've been in the bar and restaurant industry for like 14 or so years. And then in the last few years, I worked for Lagunitas Brewing Company, so that's how
Here.
I've done a couple of tastings actually over at Heidi for Lagunitas years past. I think that was like right when you guys started doing some of those tastings, maybe
Tastings,
like
yeah.
3 or 4 years ago or something like
Yeah.
that. Does that make sense? Does that sound right? I don't know. Maybe I'm lying, but anyways. Uh, and I worked at Playboy Tap Room, which is in Elgin, right down the road from here. A super cool craft beer bar, and made a lot of connections through that way. And I ended up here as the kind of manager, tap room manager, DM, whatever. I do all the things. Except for brewing the beer, which nobody wants me to do that, but I'll help if I have
That's awesome.
to.
You guys, tell me about your space here. You guys kind of have a really unique space, a unique look about it. What's the history of this stuff?
We do. So the building that the tap room's in was originally Borden's Dairy plant back in 1907, I think 1906, 1907, one of those two. So the part that the brewery is in actually housed the was like the thank you, the boiler room. Jesus. So it was coal-fired steam boilers. So our patio actually, there's a driveway brewer, and they used to horse-drawn carriages to pull coal over, and they shoveled it in here. So we have this big smokestack, which has kind of been our, it's part of our logo. It's a symbol that's been, in this, a fixture in this town for over 100 years, 13 years. Um, anyways, Border Dairy Plant this year, Cycle is the industrial sewing factory that Doug works for. Here, they took over this building in 1948 and expanded on what was the original Border factory. So the whole building here is over like around 400,000 square feet. So the sewing machine factory is still in the back there, still operational. Doug is an engineer back there. And then the other three owners of the brewery own special sewing machine house. So they're the folks, are the brains and started the brewery here, and they, remodeled the space for the tap room. That was like I said, the boiler room. They did an amazing job with that renovation. So all the brick in this room is actually original to the building. Um, so there's just like a lot of cool, unique features in the space that we're very lucky you know, to have. It's just an original, you know, it's not just football so original. It's pretty cool. So that's all I got on
Awesome.
that. Dang, you know.
All right, guys. So for those of you that are just joining us for the first time, we're going to go through a tasting of 4 beers through Sohop Brewing. Kind of spend maybe 15, 20 minutes each beer. This is going to run about an hour, hour and a half. We're going to start with Sohopped John Boy Pils. Okay? And this is a German style Pilsner. I'll have Doug talk to us about it. There's a story behind this beer. What's the story behind it?
There was well, a tragic accident. One of our original investors, John Hoffman.
Good friend of the brewery.
Right. And he passed away a couple years ago, and he decided to do the beer as a tribute.
Uh-huh.
And when we first, came up, well, we named it after him. His nickname is John Boy. So when he came out with it, we, donated proceeds to local charities.
Yeah, it was
It
a,
was,
sorry.
Go ahead.
I interrupt people all the time. It's a delightful trait, I thought. Are you sure?
That's all.
Okay. So John's family came and kind of they looked over the label. They came and this was actually the first beer that we ever canned. So we brewed it for the first time last January. We did a big release party for it. His family came and helped us with the canning process and stuff. So that was a big deal for us.